Madam Mayor,
Mr. Byrd.
I move we come out of the executive session and let it be shown that no decisions were made.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Do I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Thank you for your patience. We apologize for our late start. For the record, it is Tuesday, September 15th at 6:15. We'll start with roll call attendance. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Here.
Councilmember Mylum.
Here.
Councilmember Byrd.
Here. Councilmember
Councilmember Roundtree.
Here.
Councilmember Borton.
Here.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Here.
Mayor DeVeard.
Here. Item number 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you will all rise and join us in the pledge to our flag. Item number 3 is our community invocation, and I do not see Pastor Rhodes here. So we'll go ahead and move to item 4, adoption of the agenda.
Madam Mayor,
3.
on items 8A, the resolution number is 15-1088. 8B, the resolution number is 15-1089. And 8C, the resolution number is 15-1090. With those additions, Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 All ayes, motion carried. Item 5 is our consent agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Roundtree.
I move that we approve the consent agenda, authorize the clerk to attest and the mayor to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. If there's no discussion, Madam Clerk, will you call roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Aye.
Councilmember Mylum.
Aye.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Councilmember Roundtree.
Aye.
Councilmember Borton.
Aye.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Aye.
Motion carried. There were no items moved from the consent agenda, so we'll move into item 7 under action items. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for including the description about the public hearing process. We'll go ahead and ask staff for comments on 7A.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The first action item on the agenda this evening is the Solterra subdivision number 2. This project was before you back in March, where you've acted on a previous final plat. At that time, they were requesting additional buildable lots, 51 to be exact. And in order for them to move forward on this revised plat, we are asking that you acknowledge their withdrawal. The applicant has requested withdrawal of the previous final plat, and they have submitted a new final plat for your consideration this evening. The previous plat, as I mentioned, had 51 residential lots. To get you oriented here, here's the approved preliminary plat. The first phase is already commenced or recorded, and the second phase is primarily the eastern portion of this residential subdivision. So when this plat was before you in March of this year, the applicant was requesting 51 residential lots. Now they are here just to have you approve their new final plat that has reduced their lot count from 51 down to 46. And the primary reason is they want to include more attached product within the development and less of the single detached homes. When this project was before you as part of the annexation and the rezone and the preliminary plat, they had always conveyed that there would be a mix of 2 residential housing types in this development. I have analyzed the overall density approved with that preliminary plat and compared it to the proposed final plat before you this evening, and it is still consistent with the overall preliminary plat. The open space itself is still consistent with the overall open space proposed for the subdivision as well. So really the only change this evening between the 2 subdivisions is the reduction in the number of buildable lots, and that is allowed under the UDC, that the director can make that finding that you are allowed to reduce the number of buildable lots as long as you still fall within that density parameter of the UDC, and the plat before you does that. The staff has received written testimony from the applicant, and they are in agreement with all conditions of the final plat. So there are no outstanding issues for you this evening, and we just ask that, again, you acknowledge the withdrawal and approve the final plat as submitted. With that, I'd stand for any questions you have.
Thank you, Bill. Council, any questions? Is the applicant here? Would you have any comment, or you good with the staff report?
We are good with the staff report.
Okay. Thank you. Council?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Roundtree?
I move that we approve the withdrawal of the previous plat and approve the final plat for item 7A.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve item 7A as noted. Any discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Aye.
Councilmember Mylum.
Aye.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Councilmember Roundtree.
Aye.
Councilmember Borton.
Aye.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Item 7B is a public hearing on TEC 15-004. I'll open this public hearing with staff comments.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The next item on the agenda is the Shops at Victory time extension for the preliminary plat and conditional use permit. The site is located on the southeast corner of Victory and Amity, or South Eagle Road. This is the fourth time extension proposed by the applicant. And the previous one would have expired, or last time extension was approved in September of 2013. The applicant is here to extend their time extension for a 1-year time period in order to solidify their lease with the Rite Aid that's proposed for the corner. And here is the conceptual plan, or the conditional use permit application site plan that was approved with that application. This site is subject to a development agreement that was approved back in 2008. With the previous time extensions, staff has required that they comply with the current provisions of the UDC. The only new condition that we are recommending to you this evening is, as we discussed at your workshop hearing last week, the planning department is in the process of changing the design manual and also some changes to the UDC. And so what we wanted to make sure, based on the timing of this development, we wanted to make sure that the applicant would comply with the most current, or any changes to those design standards. We have a condition here that they comply with whatever ordinances are in effect at the time that they submit their application. We received a written testimony from the applicant. They are in agreement with that condition. And I'd also mention to council that all other conditions of the previous time extensions and those that were subject to the conditional use permit, the preliminary plat, and the development agreement still remain in effect for this property. With that, I'll conclude my presentation and stand for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Bill. Council, any questions?
Have none.
Okay, would the applicant like to comment? Good evening. If you'll please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Jeff Huber, White Leisure Development Company, 8385 West Emerald, Boise.
Thank you.
Yes, we're requesting a time extension. We hope we can, we've sort of come into this property recently, not since 2008, but we've got a tenant that we're working with, and we think we can make this project move forward now if we had just had a little more time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Council, any questions?
Madam Mayor, I have a question either for the applicant or Bill. Is the dwelling and the outbuildings and the infrastructure that used to occupy that site, is it still there, still present?
Madam
Mayor, members of the council, I believe that existing residence is on the property.
I guess I'll refer that question to the applicant.
Yes, it's still there. It's we're going to be taking it down as soon as we solidify our lease with Rite Aid.
And it's unoccupied?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Zaremba, did you also have a
I
question?
actually could answer that question as well. And I was just going to comment, the last time this came up, that former residence looked like it was able for people to break into it, and maybe they were, and I commented on that. And since then, it looks like it's been secured. I understand the eventual point is to take it down, but I drive by there every once in a while for other reasons, and have noticed that it does appear to be secure, so thank you for helping with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. I did have Bob Aldridge sign up. In favor of the time extension? Thank you for joining us. It's been quite some time.
Madam Mayor, that's been a good thing. I'm Bob Aldridge, 3300 Falcon Drive. I'm the property immediately to the southeast of this. And I've been here a lot of times on this. I've worked extensively with the prior owners, including doing some land adjustments so they could fit their buildings in. They were very good to work with. They fulfilled all their promises. I've met with the new people that are coming forward with this. I think they're going to be the same. I think they're going to do a good job there, and it's something I'd love to see moving and going. It's a corner that needs to be brought up to standards. So I'm very much in favor of proceeding with it.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions? This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to offer testimony on this item? Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Mylum.
seeing none, I move that we close the public hearing on TEC 15-004.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on item 7B. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried.
Madam Mayor,
Ms.
move
Mylum.
that we approve TEC 15-004 with all staff and applicant comments.
I have a motion and a second to approve item 7B. Madam Clerk, will you call? Yes,
Have some
Mr.
discussion.
Roundtree. Yes.
You know, we've talked about these time extensions several times, and, you know, this is what, its fourth or moving towards its fifth. At some point in time, it's got to stop, and I very much hope, and I anticipate that it will develop, but I would hope that we could have a motion or a condition here that it won't happen again, and that by the time the end of the extension of this particular plat is done, that at least the site is cleaned up. Weeds removed, infrastructure removed, made to be buildable and more sightly than it is now. So if the maker of the motion would consider some of those in her motion, I would appreciate it.
Thank you for the discussion.
Anybody else say in it? Do I need to start over or just add those to the motion?
If you want to,
Okay.
that's it's up to you.
So I will withdraw the motion on the floor and start over. Okay.
Okay, second agreed.
And I agree with Charlie, so. Madam Mayor,
Ms. Mylum.
I move that we approve TEC 15-004 with a note that this would be the last time extension approved for this project, and that within this year period, at least the current condition of the property gets cleaned up, removing infrastructure and any unsightly weeds. Anything else?
Is it second?
I have a motion and a second to extend the time for 1 year. This seems to be a final extension. Mr. Zaremba.
Madam Mayor, I just wanted to review the process a little bit. And staff can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the first time extension and maybe the second time extension is an administrative approval that doesn't come to the council, but the reason it comes to the council on the third and subsequent ones is that it always gives us the opportunity to say no. I am in favor of the motion the way it was made this time, but I wanted to clarify the process is that on the third and subsequent times, the reason it comes to the council is for the opportunity to say this can't go on. Am I correct about that?
Close. Madam Mayor, members of the council, Councilman Zaremba.
Close enough.
The code allows the director to approve one administrative time extension. The remainder, the subsequent time extensions have to come to council. So it's not two. They get one from one staff level approval time extension, and the rest will have to come has to come to city council based on our ordinance.
I just wanted to clarify the process. Thank you.
Well, and I think as we're talking process, this could still be applied and requested to the currently seated council, but this would be on the record as suggesting it be the last. So, any further discussion? Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Aye.
Councilmember Mylum.
Aye.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Councilmember Roundtree.
Aye.
Councilmember Borton.
Aye.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Thank you. I'm sure Mr. Aldridge hopes that this is the last time he has to do this too.
Mayor, unfortunately, we will be back across Falcon Drive.
Okay. Item 8A, council, in front of you is resolution 15-1088, reappointing 3 of our members to the Impact Fee Committee. They have been serving on this committee to provide feedback to council and represent our citizens in regard to appropriate impact fee. They have also committed to meeting more frequently, and so they continue to be very valuable assets and eager to continue. Well, eager might be a stretch. Willing to continue to serve, and I would ask for your reappointment of these 3 individuals.
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Mylum.
I move that we approve Resolution 15-1088, reappointing Matthew Adams to seat 4, John Nesmith to seat 5, Spencer Martin to seat 6, and Selden Butch Whedon to seat 7
Sorry, I
Of
meant
the-
4.
Meridian Impact Advisory Committee.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve item 8A. Any discussion? And I did misstate. There are 4. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Aye.
Councilmember Mylum.
Aye.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Councilmember Roundtree.
Aye.
Councilmember Borton.
Aye.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Item 7B is also a reappointment of 2 current advisory committee members, former Mayor Robert Corey and Cheryl Caldwell. I would ask for your approval of these reappointments for Mayor Corey and Ms. Caldwell to serve on the Solid Waste Advisory Committee.
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Mylum.
I move that we approve Resolution 15-1089, reappointing, bless you, Robert Corey to seat 2 and Cheryl Caldwell to seat 3 of the Solid Waste Advisory Committee.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve item 8B. Madam Clerk, will you call roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Aye.
Councilmember Mylum.
Aye.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Councilmember Roundtree.
Aye.
Councilmember Borton.
Aye.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Item 8C is Resolution 15-1090. It's a reappointment of Julie Walters. She is on our Historical Preservation Commission. I'm sure Mr. Thomason over there would attest that she is a real asset on HPC. And so I am excited to ask for your approval for her reappointment.
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Byrd.
I move we approve the resolution number 15-1090, appointing Joey Walters to the Youth Commissioner to the Historic Preservation Commission.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve item 7C, reappointing Jolie Walters on our HPC board. Madam Clerk, will you please call roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Aye.
Councilmember Mylum.
Aye.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Councilmember Roundtree.
Aye.
Councilmember Borton.
Aye.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Council, any topics for consideration under item 9?
I have none.
Thank you. Item 10 is the executive session.
Madam Mayor,
Madam Mayor, before Mr. Byrd makes the motion, could you add item sub F to
F.
that, because we weren't able to get to that in the first one?
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Byrd.
I move we go into executive session as per Idaho State Code 74206, 1C, 1F.
Second.
A motion and a second to add, to adjourn into executive session per Idaho State Code 74-206, C and F. Madam Clerk, will you call roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cavanagh.
Aye.
Councilmember Mylum.
Aye.
Councilmember Byrd.
Aye.
Councilmember Roundtree.
Aye.
Councilmember Borton.
Aye.
Councilmember Zaremba.
Aye.
All ayes. I will tell our students here, you picked the right meeting to attend.
Good job.
Good job. We have some pins to show that you were here.